Good evening, folks. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. We're out here at Ladoga Lake. We're going to start tonight's stream here, do a little more fishing for some whitefish and ripus, and if it's slow, we'll try somewhere else. But before I go out to the spot, I do want to check out the pole options, because Left for Mush in-game brought up a good point that there's some cheaper poles that may be a good halfway point to the blade masters we're going for here. Going on Canadian. So I want to take a look at some of those. Let's see. Wing Master. That one's XP. There's one of these that has like +2 skill, but with a lower kilogram capacity. Let's see if I can find that one. This one. This is it. Okay, so it's a little more expensive here because we're at a lake with a tackle shot penalty, but so this has a 13 kilogram capacity and gives +2 to the skills instead of +3, but you can pretty much get 3 of them for the price of one of the blade masters that gives the +3 and has a 17 kilo capacity. So the question is, how many fish are there going to be in the trophy range between essentially 12 kilo and 16 kilo? Because you want to go at least 1 kilo under the capacity to not risk breaking the rod. That's the question, because while the +1 to the skill will make a big difference on the trophy catch rate, it's a long grind to get that unlocked. I mean, getting 3 of those for the price of 1 of the Blade Masters is kind of appealing. I wonder what everybody's thoughts is on that option. Let's go ahead and get our lines in the water here. Go. Doing our mayfly with dung beetle combo on size 2-watt hooks again. And when I was testing this off camera earlier, it did seem like the bite rate has slowed down a bit from where it was yesterday, but it could have just been the temperature of that in-game day. See, if it does slow down, we'll maybe go to Tunguska, or if anybody knows some other good active spots we can check out on another lake, we'll move accordingly. Some tea intersystem, and no hot tea tonight. I've just got some cold black tea left over from dinner, so go first fish on. And we got another bite on line 3 there. Looks like this is a Ventus, I think. No, ripus. All right, some time. There's a Ventus. Turned off pretty big. Almost a trophy Ventus and over halfway to a trophy ripus there, so that's a good sign. Maybe we'll pull a trophy or 2 out tonight. That'd be good. What have you been fishing today, Canadian? And just as a heads up, tonight's stream will only be about an hour long. Just monitoring my cat's new medication. He's having a little bit of a, not a bad reaction, but it's making him a little bit lethargic and everything. So I want to make sure I'm keeping an eye on him in the evening. So cut the stream a little shorter than usual tonight, just to make sure I can pay attention to what's going on with him. It's a common side effect for this medicine when starting to happen with his other issues. I like to keep an eye on that to make sure it doesn't cause any complications. Bottom fishing to see the buffalo spot side. So I saw on the official Discord, there's a lot of people caught some trophies and some blue tags out of there, but if it's died, not much you can do. How's the bottom fishing at the sea going for you? Missed that one. Missed that one. All right. Like the bite rate has picked up a bit, so it must have just been the temperature earlier. Got a good bite rate out there, so that's where on M-Dog's stream the other day, he was bottom fishing from the shore out there and got a thorny skate, which was pretty neat. What we got here? A little ripus. Yep. And some decent XP. Hoping to get some skill gains too. I did get one earlier, up to 95.7 float, so slowly building our way up to 100%. Got an eyed. Usual one to catch here at nighttime. Not a bad size. Little shovel action here. So are you using those marine baits, or are you using something else when you're bottom fishing out there? I really hope that they add the ability to catch those marine baits with 100% bait harvesting. Like make it so you can only catch it at the sea, so it's kind of a trade-off in that you're having to, if you're doing it while you're fishing, you have to fish from the shoreline and it has to be at the sea, but I think it'd be a neat addition. Yeah, I need to. I'm going to ponder on that telescopic rod option. I wish I could get. I think we mentioned this before. Like, I wish there was a way to sort of like try out a piece of gear for a little while without having to pay for it, because I'd like to see how much of a difference +2 to those skills makes. Like, if it's a pretty noticeable difference, then I think it'd be worth trying to build a full set of those up to in place of getting just one of the big rods. But you know, for the same on the same token, like, how much of a difference is there going to be between +2 and +3? There's really only like a couple species I can think of where hunting for trophies, they'd fall in that 13 to 17 kilo one, like some of the char and trout and like round whitefish, or not round, broad whitefish, I think would fall into that category. This one, yeah. Recast all these, I've gotten all out of alignment on me. There we go. Yep. Using lugworm and the near seas things. Ooh. Come on here. A little too far out on the rock there. And it's, of course, a windy day out here, 5.7 meter per second wind, so casting these is a little bit of a pain. I wonder if anyone's tried using those marine baits on freshwater lakes. See if they catch anything. I imagine they don't, but who knows? Come on. And the sea is the only place you can buy those baits, right? They're from that specialty bait shop there. Here's our first whitefish of the night. Definitely one of the things we are hoping to get more of. Oh, you can't use the marine baits on freshwater? Is it like, what's it do when you, oh, is it because it you only go on like the marine rig? Here we go, got Another little tiny whitefish. That one. So have you messed with any of the plus skill rods on any of the fishing types, Canadian? I'm really curious, like just how big a difference it makes. I was asking if you've used any of those plus rig skill point rods for any of the fishing types. And if you have, if you've noticed, it makes a pretty significant difference on both the average size of fish and the chances of getting trophies. I mean, theoretically, the 5.1, or the one that adds 2 points with 3 points invested, means that got a plus, was it plus 25% chance? And this one, fishing techniques is worded weird. Yeah, so if we go by this, it's like basically it means you've got plus 25% plus instead of plus 15%. But like the information I keep finding is so vague as far as how big of an impact that makes. I just wonder if it does drastically increase your average fish size and trophy chance, then I think having 3 of the plus 2 rods would allow me to make up the cost of the 3 plus 3 rods a lot quicker. Okay, there's fish doing something weird with my line 1 here. Not a bite pattern I'm used to seeing in this spot. Yeah, this is like a smelt. That one. No, it's still on there. All right. Get that in a second. Yep, a little tiny smelt on our 2-aught hook. They say it doesn't make much of an impact at all. What we have on here is putting up a lot of resistance. Okay, it's a big old chub. Not quite a trophy though. Apparently the chubs are moving into this spot. A little lake trout. And so the ones that you've used, were they +1, or were they one of the bigger ones like +2, +3 still? It's just so hard to figure out what route to take, because there's several good options. Try +2 and +3, and you didn't see much of a difference. That's disheartening to hear. Because like that was kind of my last hope of trying to get away from the such heavy RNG dependency to get big fish. Almost makes me wonder if the best route to go would be the ultralights, but then at the same time, like I'm at the point where I don't care that much about experience points, which is the only advantage you get out of going ultralight. No, the in-game gear progression for telescopic is a little weird in that regard. But if it doesn't make much of an impact, then I would think that going for the +2s wouldn't be worth it then. The +3s, there may still be an argument for, but really it comes down to either getting the +3s or getting the Infernos that have the 25 kilo capacity. Oh, that chub was a water body record, both a regular water body record and a tele record. That's uncommon to get a regular water body record out here on my tellies. It's pretty neat. What placing is it? Chub. We go 5th place, so we go to the tellies, 1st place. All right. Not a bad fish to pull in. Not what we wanted particularly, but not bad either way. Maybe we can pull a trophy chub by the end of the night. Wasn't ready to set. Probably another one of those stupid smelt. Be nice to get a blue tag Venice. The bite rate's a little low for it right now. Like this is definitely a little slower than it was the other day. So this spot's probably winding down. I'll have to figure out where. The thing with Ladoga Lake spots is there's like 5 different ones that are really good for this table of fish. So I just gotta figure out which one it rotated to. Once you're getting a lot of lake trout and chub, it means that the spot's usually dried up for the Vindus and whitefish and rifus. I wouldn't mind a trophy lake trout out here though. We've got another ripus, which the ripus trophy is what I want more than the Vindus. We've gotten a blue tag Vindus would be neat, but still haven't gotten that trophy ripus. Could it pull? So that's a good question. If I had plenty of room to navigate, it could definitely pull in a lake trout. It could be dangerous here because I don't have a lot of room to do the backup. So it's hard to tell. I definitely could under the right circumstances, though. I just don't know if I have enough clearance to do the back and forth. That's right. Only one way to know. Trophy eyed would be nice too. I've been watching the main Discord for spots at other places. It seems like there's a good common carp spot opened up on Amber Lake right now. But otherwise, it seems like everyone's just posting more and more from the Norwegian Sea. I did see that there was another trophy eel caught at the Oldberg spot, the 3550 or 3858, whatever it is. So maybe worth trying to hunt that trophy eel again there if you're still missing it. Only problem with chasing those trophy eels is that you're probably only going to get like 2 eels per in-game night and not much else. And while it real feels bad if you get a small eel. A decent sized eel makes up for it because they're worth a lot of extra silver. But you get like 2 non-marker eel, it just feels like a waste of time. It's kind of like sturgeon fishing. Sturgeon are meant to be like catch 1 or 2 a day, but they'll be worth so much that it's worth it. But if the one or two a day you catch are small ones, then it real feels bad. I'm going down first. Yep. Oh, I missed it. All right. Long fish, take that hook. Little scoop in action. Nothing good. It's weird. I used to use algae a lot, but I haven't really found a use for it in quite a while because the stuff that algae is good for, potato and cabbage are better for. Lake trout here. Oh, we got a float game. 95.8. The Vendus there. We're still averaging about a fish a minute. Surprised that wasn't ready to hook. At some point, I do want to try 4/0 hooks here and see how big of an impact it makes. I think we got another ripus. Tiny ripus. Thanks for been getting a good use out of all those dung beetles I've had sitting around for ages. Someone just got a water body world record silver carp on telescopic somewhere. Pretty neat. Silver carp's a hard one to target with telly. I've gotten a few on Actuba, but compared to like the big head carp and other ones, they don't seem to like to bite as often. Yeah, I think if those +2 rods were like +3 with a 13 kilo capacity, then I would buy them in a heartbeat. I don't know, like it's the main reason I'm going for the skill rods is for the skill, not for the capacity. So settling for something with less of a skill gain just seems, whoa, here we go. Okay, well, here we go, put it to the test. And pull the sucker to the surface. Come on. Not a fight I was expecting here. Come on, I think we got it, I think we got it. Oh man, that is a huge lake trout. And land it. Crap, crap, crap. So it gets a little harder. Okay, he's stuck on the shoreline. Come on. Whew. All right, well, that answers the question, can I handle a trophy lake trout on this rig? I don't know, because that was only an 8-kilo lake trout, and that was pretty dicey for a second there. Hydrate and stretch. All right, I don't have any water. Well, this is a cold tea. I don't have to count for the hydration. I actually didn't bring any water up here with me. Cheers. It's iced tea though, so it's plenty hydrating. Stretch vertical, get some side to side action here. Get a little arch of the back. All right, stretched out. Appreciate it. Keep the muscles all limbered up. All right, let's see. I bet that lake trout's going to be definitely a region record for lake trout on telly for this lake. Or water body record, I should say. Let's see if it's a world record of any type. All right, there's a little, I think it's a Vindus there. Yeah. And that lake trout at the beginning, that was lighting me up full red. That was scary, wasn't it? These are, I think I've actually got expensive hooks on here right now. Normally I go with cheap hooks, but the only 2-aught carp hooks I had were Berserk ones. It goes in one. Your ripus here. A little scoop action going on here. Get some pickles in me. Whatever that was. And looks like another ripus. Ripus have been fairly small today. Still sad that one we got yesterday was like 24 grams shy of trophy. We got on here a little tiny lake trout, I think. Yep. It's that one. Got some middle zone one. You out here at this spot using tellies or bottom, Canadian? All right, that lake trout was a region record. I appreciate the follow there, Perica Messi. Welcome to the channel. Take a look in a minute here to see where our placement was with that region record. Let's see. Telescopic, US region, absolute lake trout. Yep. Ah, old fishing pole dancers got us beat. All right. Being on the board still fun. Oh, you putting the tellies to work out here, are you? The fun telly life. Well, this is a good spot to build your float skill percentage. If you use size 10 hooks out here with mayfly larvae, the Bendis bite rate should be really good for skill gains. I don't advise being crazy and using 2-aught hooks like me until you've got the proper skill and experience with bringing in those big trout. Using a 22 with mayfly, that's probably a bit small. That 22s you would want to use over in the coves to try to go after like some stickleback. Size 10 should give you a pretty reasonable bite rate without just giving you a bunch of smelt and garbage fish. That one. Which that is something I want to try to target out here at some point, is the stickleback. You know, like there's some spots up in this cove that are usually pretty good for them. They're just not worth a lot of silver, and right now silver is kind of my main focus. And yep. Yeah, the mayfly larva here is by far the most effective bait. It's just a shame that if you go above a size 1 hook, you can't use the small larva. See what our scoop gets. Anything good? Haven't seen any sturgeon spots posted lately. There was that Actuba one last week, but all I've seen. I'm really hoping someone posts a Cutum spot at Actuba or Seversky, because that's one fish species I want to try to go after at some point, but they're similar to eel, where they're a rare species and they're like a nighttime only species, so getting one is very much luck of the dice. Yeah, sturgeon out here in the deep pockets, which unfortunately, if it's deeper than like 7 meters, it's not even worth trying on telescopic if they're bottom feeding fish, because you can't go below 5.2 meters. And there is like a variance, like some things, if the hole is 7 or 8 meters deep, sometimes you can catch the bottom feeders at 5.2 meter, but when they're 11 plus meters deep, you're not going to get them, unfortunately. Please. It's a bit warm in game, I think, is why nothing's biting heavy for me right now. So an interesting spot is down here in this secret cove. I've gotten some gibble out of this 3-meter hole, but I feel like this would be a good area to go after common carp and pike. Wake on back up, fish. Yeah, if you go closer to 1 meter, you'll get more Vindus. And if you go deeper, you'll get more whitefish and trout, which I'm really going after whitefish primarily. But for Vindus and for just like float gain and stuff, going around 1 to 1.2 meters is a really good range to be in. The ripest seem to kind of bite well at any depth. Yep, not a problem. Spent a lot of time fishing here at these Ladoga Lake spots. I've learned these fish patterns. Got something nibbling on 3 there. Feels like it's probably a smelt. Okay, some nibbles on 1. Go. A little too soon on that one. If I ever use leaders, I've not like you have to use them for the carp rigs, but otherwise I haven't really used them. They kind of make the hook setting a little bit trickier. They do add a little extra wiggle room though, so if you're fishing for really big fish, I think leaders are going to give you a little extra strength to pull them up to the surface of the water. It just makes the hook timing is just not quite as tight with them, or as forgiving, I should say. And since I'm using fluorocarbon or monofilament, I mean, I don't really need to worry about teeth bite or fish biting through. Like I've caught pike and salmon on these with no leader and haven't had an issue. You'll see if you ever try to use like the carp rigs, the hook, the timing for setting the hook on those is so awkward because they have the fish have that extra room to sort of like swing the leader around. So it's really hard to tell when it's ready to actually set. Now, theoretically, you could use a lighter and smaller in diameter monofilament line in places like this where the fish aren't going to be that big, and that probably marginally increase your bite rate. Right now, I'm using the 19.8 kilo line because I just can't be bothered to change line out constantly. But if I used a smaller, like 9 kilo capacity line out here that's got a much tinier diameter, it would probably increase my bite rate a little bit. Not a problem. That telly life, that's what we're here to learn. 1.5 kilo lake trout. Sadly, it seems like the whitefish have moved on from this spot for the most part. We caught that huge Volkov whitefish here earlier in the week, which was awesome. But really notable since then. What is trophy lake trout, like 12 kilos, something like that? $10 All right. Well, we weren't terribly far off from getting a trophy lake trout. So I don't know, a bare bones like right at 10 kilo trophy lake trout, we might be able to pull on this spot. But more than that, it'd be I don't know. It might be doable. Yeah, the other spots that I find are good for telescopic here for this table of fish, basically all in this area. So you come off into these rocks here. This is a good area. Either side of this peninsula, and sometimes, rarely, down here off of this island. Usually this same fish table of Vindus, Ripus, and Whitefish kind of rotate between those locations. The problem with all of them but these two rocks is you have to rent a boat to go out to them, which just feels like even though it's only like 9 silver, it just feels like a waste of money to have to take a boat out to a spot just to get off the boat and fish. Especially if you're not confident that the spot is active, because then you might go out there and spend the 9 silver and not even be able to make that silver back because the spot's dead. That one. So another thing that could potentially help bite rate here, this Invis float, is the ones I'm using are 5.5 grams, so they're heavier floats. If you use the smaller Invis, it's like I think it's 3.3 or something around like that. That might make the hook setting time a little bit more forgiving for these fish, but ultimately I don't think it's that huge of a difference. Might make the smelt easier to catch, more or less. Lake trout here. Hydrate, alright. 2 kilo lake trout there. Cheers. Good old icy cold unsweet tea. Can't get enough of it. I'm shunned by all my peers because I'm here in the South, and drinking unsweet tea in the South is like blasphemy. That's how I roll. Let's dragging that. We got another smelt on that line. Another scoop. Come on, diving beetles. Oh, we got a leech. It's not terrible. One day I'll have some spots where I can put those leeches to work. They're really good at Ladoga Lake, or not Ladoga, Quarry Lake, and the Ladoga Archipelago. When those are active at spots, you can catch stuff from telescopic, but you can never get any info on when those are active. You got looks like I can't see the side profile. I don't know if it's a Ripus or Vindus. Tiny Ripus. Can't see the fins and the underbody shape. You can't hard to tell between the two. One day I'll experiment to see if there's a noticeable difference in bite rate and fish size between different color hooks. These right now are bright red hooks, which I feel like aren't a good option unless you're using like bloodworms. But at the same time, I also kind of feel like there's a lot of hook mechanics that just don't exist in the game. I know star rating for hooks reduces the chance of getting a fish got away, which for telescopic is not really a concern anyways. And there's built-in hook strength on load capacity, so there are some hooks that if you have a size 22 hook on the line and you get like a trophy Vendus, it'll light your line up, your tension up, it's because that hook is struggling to keep up with the weight of it. But other than that, I don't really know that the color of the hook is something that has any effect. In real life, it definitely does, but RF4, I'm not sure they have that coded. And if you're in a river with currents, so like Tunguska, Yama, why anything like that, I have noticed that carp hooks are a little bit better at auto hooking if you are in a situation where there's enough tension on the line from the current to allow auto hooking on telescopic. Carp hooks do seem a little better at that. Nibbles. Now, if you really want to test your patience here, Canadian, take your telescopic rods over to the gibble spot. Watch those little punks nibble at the line for like 3 or 4 minutes before you can set the hook. It's painful. I feel like it's easier to have no nibbles at all for 3 or 4 minutes in a row than watching a nibble that you can't set the hook on for 3 or 4 minutes. Right this here. How have I drifted this far to the right? That's what's going on here. I'm passing way off to the right that it should be. What am I doing? Let's correct that. That one. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, it's like the gibble at Oldberg aren't so bad. They'll usually bite decently quick, and usually I'm getting them as a byproduct of going after other stuff. But yeah, the gibble carp here, for some reason, they just play with the food for ages. That one. A little shovel action in here. You got a nice juicy larva. Not a bad catch. This wind. Strong enough that it actually pulls these floats down the water a little bit. Just wait. The next time you're in a body of water, Canadian, that's got over 10 meter per second wind, break out your telly rods and see how much of a pain it is. That one, we recast that anyways. $39 fish so far. Here comes number 40. The wind as it looks like. Time. About a few more minutes here. We'll get lucky and have a cafe order we can turn in. I didn't check the orders before I came out to the spot. Oh, a little tiny chub. Lake trout. We get 3 more fish, making even 45. I guess technically an odd. We won't get into the semantics. It's almost hypnotic watching the 3 lines drift with the wind in unison. All mixed up here. Once you start getting the wind blowing these floats around like this, sometimes the hook setting timing gets changed. Got some nibbles here. Little lake trout. 3 kilo, not bad. A little further out. Come on, give us 2 more juicy fish here. Mm. Mm. Just commit, fish. You can do it. Well, I guess I'll take this one instead. Little chub. Well, line 2 is still being nibbled on. There it goes. All right, there we go. 45 fish. Let's go cash these suckers in. Maybe a little ripe, it's not too bad. Made about 100,000 XP between those fish. Got one float fishing, I guess it was actually 2 float fishing games, so creeping on up to 100% there. See if we got any cafe orders to turn in. So yeah, we got nope, nothing. Well, if you get a trophy, vend us while you're out there, Canadian, or well, you definitely already got the ripest cafe order, so you can fill that one in. So that guy's getting another big silver carp on telly. I wonder where he's catching those at. All right, I'm gonna guess 45 fish. I think we got a good bit of non-markers in here today. I'm gonna say 127 silver, 152 from Canadian. The other guess is in the chat. Hopefully that 8 kilo lake trout saves us a good bit. 108 from Rocco. We also got that decent chub somewhere too, didn't we? 3.85. All right, let's see what we got. I guess that's like the sunlight reflecting on the bulb, making it flicker. It's kind of weird. All right, looks like the total is... We always underestimate here at Ladoga Lake. We always, every time, we're always like 100 silver off. 209.02, so Canadian gets the closest by Price is Right rules. See, I got that one lake trout and that chub were both worth over 20 silver, so that was a big part of it there. Not a bad haul, less than an hour, only 45 fish, not too shabby. Almost to 5,000 silver. Pretty good day here overall. But again, tonight's stream shorter than usual. Tomorrow's will be probably short as well. Just I'm keeping an eye on my cat's reaction to his new medication, so I want to spend too long away where I can't just hop up and check on him. But either way, tomorrow we'll probably be back here at Ladoga Lake again, unless I see something more active in the Discords. I haven't really seen much posted lately. Go to with telescopic. If I do, we'll try somewhere different, but otherwise we'll stick it out here while this Ladoga spot's pretty active, because definitely want to try to get the next telescopic upgrade as soon as I can. But we'll go ahead and wrap up here. Hope everyone has a good night, good day, depending on their time zone, some good fishing. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Take it easy, folks.